and excited to be with you guys tonight. This is the College Football Recruiting Live Show. So this is specifically for the athletes who want to get after it and get to the next level. We bring it every single Tuesday night, not only for our Before You Go Pro audience, but for all of those athletes across the country, those coaches, those parents out there that want the education, that want the knowledge, that want to find out more about how this recruiting process works. This is the tactics, you guys. This is the strategies. We open up for live Q&A. So this is really your time, and excited to join you guys tonight. I see the Munoz family already joining us, of course, out of San Antonio, Texas. Bell Cal State, you guys, for college football recruiting. So definitely excited. They've got a playmaker in their family, and excited to have the Munoz family with us tonight. So let's get right into it, you guys. I know there's football on the tube, but you guys want to find out how you can get to that level. Some of you guys want to play at the highest level where you're on TV every week, and some of you guys just want a shot. Hey, you don't care if it's Division II, D3, NAIA, you just want your shot, right? So with Before You Go Pro, there is no guessing, you guys. This isn't an armchair quarterback. This isn't somebody who read a book. I'm actually a former football player myself. Once again, Coach Terrence Wood, that's me in the middle, playing against Oregon. I played at the University of Colorado. On the left, you see my grandfather. I actually do have a Hall of Fame grandfather. So for me, you guys, football is a labor of love. Football is a family business. Football is what we do, as far as that wood being on the back of your jersey. So I've been around football a long time and want to teach you guys everything I know. So once again, I am your host. And you guys see the gentleman on the right, that's a young man named Dustin Woods. This is somebody who I've had the chance to mentor. There's a heavy mentoring component to Before You Go Pro. It's not just about getting you the scholarship offer, you guys. It's about being ready for the scholarship offer, right? So that's what this is about. And he was a great player himself, Dustin Woods, at Miami of Ohio, Division I school, you guys. And then he was fortunate enough to go pro. Now, he didn't go pro with a helmet and cleats on, you guys. A lot of you guys think pro is just you being on the field. He actually went pro, you guys, as a strength and conditioning coach. And right now, he's with the Philadelphia Eagles, had a great chance to win a Super Bowl last year, is going to have another chance probably to win one this year. But Dustin is a Before You Go Pro athlete, a former athlete. He is definitely watching all of our kids and wants to help in any way he can, you guys. So you don't always have to go pro on the field. We can teach you how to go pro off the field too, right? So you win regardless. We want you guys to win regardless. That's what this is all about. Now, if you want to get to the next level, you're going to need some contacts. You're going to need some relationships. I see the great Tiffany coming in, and she knows all about it. She's got a son that is a baller, and she knows, hey, I want to join Before You Go Pro, so we've got some contacts, right? So Coach Cormier is currently a Division I coach. He's at Ball State University. This is just an example, you guys, of one of the contacts that we utilize for our athletes, We have superstars playing across the country, and we're going to teach you the blueprint that we use for them every single Tuesday night. So if this is your first time joining us for the Recruiting Live Show, once again, I'm your host, Coach Wood, but you can come here every single Tuesday night as we go through the recruiting process, the recruiting season. Now, I'm going to get into some of the dates here shortly, but we're going to be here. So if you guys want this education so you can get to the next level, it's going to be here for you. Everything we use to get these young men to amazing universities across the country. Now, Before You Go Pro adds an extra component. We add an extra component. We do have a mentoring side to what we do. A matter of fact, that's my key side. That's the side I love the best. Recruiting, a lot of people help you recruit, but with our team at Before You Go Pro, we're also focused on the things you guys go through mentally, the things you guys go through off the field, because we know those are going to affect whether or not you sustain success on the field, right? So with our athletes, we realize it's a journey. It's a journey. And right here is a young man that is after my own heart. His name is Elijah Cooks. And you guys see right here his journey. And his journey is far from over. He's in London. He just got finished with being in London for 2 weeks. So football can do special things if you allow it to. If you treat football right, football can treat you right. So for Elijah, it's been a journey, guys, but it wasn't always highs. He's in the NFL right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a rookie, and it's high now. He's making good money, and everybody is patting him on the back, but it's not always highs along this journey. So not only are we going to talk about getting to the bag, but we're here to support you if you go through some bumps in the road, if you go through some hardships. Now, who is this for? Who is the Recruiting Live Show for? And if you're joining us for the first time and you haven't caught some of our other episodes, highly, highly recommend that you go back. It could end up being worth 6 figures for you, for some of you athletes. So this is for the people like Javarius Sims that will do anything, you guys, that are willing to put in the work, that are yes, sir, no, sir type of athletes that want to just get the blueprint. They want the blueprint. That's who this is for. If you want the blueprint on how to go play some college football, if you want the blueprint on that preferred walk-on opportunity or that scholarship opportunity, you're definitely going to get it with Before You Go Pro and the Recruiting Live Show. So this is something, you guys, that we talk about every single week. Every single week we talk about knowing the dates, knowing the key dates, right? So for the class of 2024 here, out, maybe you're a parent, a coach, maybe you're in another class, the dates will change, but they're going to be around a similar time, but the dates will change. So check this out, you guys, because if you know the dates, if you know the timeline, then the game can't beat you. The business side of football and recruiting cannot beat you. So you guys know right now it is October 10th, right? So in December 20th is when the class of 2024 can literally put pen to paper. They can make it official where they're going. So if you're a top recruit, you can open up your doors on December 20th. If you're a junior college kid, it's December 20th as well. And then look a little bit lower, Division I, Division II, regular period. So the regular period is the period after the early signing period. If you don't go D1 at the end of December, that does not mean it's all she wrote for you. And we're going to talk about one particular case with a young man we work with tonight. But it does not mean that it's all she wrote for you. You can sign D1 in December. I already showed you Javarius. Javarius signed in May. And went D1. Now, that's not typical, but it can happen, you guys. So knowing the dates is going to allow you to know if you're on time or not. If you're on time with the recruiting process, highly, highly recommend that you revisit this content. If you have a friend, a teammate that you care about, that you want to see play at the next level, have them visit this content, you guys. So evaluation period right now, September 11th, right? Now, this date is a little bit off because it's Monday, or excuse me, it's Tuesday. So this is from last year, but it's the same period right now. Right now, we're in a full evaluation period. There's college coaches going to high school games, junior college games. There's guys on recruiting visits. So you guys want to know where you stand. Right now, we're in a full-on evaluation period. So as you see this young man right here at Clemson, they're on recruiting visits. And we want you guys to be on recruiting visits as well. As we go through this material tonight, if there's questions that come up, we're going to have a Q&A question period. So you guys hold those questions. You can put them in the live comment section. But we want you guys to be on these recruiting trips. Recruiting trips dwindle. So if there's already kids on recruiting trips, we got to get you on your trip before they run out, right? Before these kids commit, before these kids sign. Now, it's different for the divisions. Now, the cream of the crop, the Power 5 schools, those are the ones that are heavy on recruiting trips now, and then the other ones follow. The other levels follow after that, okay? So what I was thinking about as we were getting ready for tonight's Recruiting Live Show, is I was wondering if you guys were really ready. If you were really ready for the call, because we're in a full-on evaluation period. And there's one thing to say that I want something to happen for me. I want something big time to happen to me. I want a recruiting opportunity from Cal Berkeley. I want a scholarship from Florida International. Or from Division II school, Western Oregon. I want something big to happen in my life, but there's a difference, you guys, in having something big happen and then having something big happen and being ready for it, right? So I was asking myself, I was wondering if you guys were really ready for the call. If USC called you tonight, if Penn State called you tonight, would you be ready for the call? Because they're not just calling you, you guys, to hear how your voice sounds. They're calling you to find out if they should continue the evaluation. They're calling you to find out if they should even go further in courting you. They want to date you. They may want to fly you out on a trip. So if a coach starts calling you from a Division II school, a D3 school, an NAIA school, from Oregon, are you ready from the call? Everybody wants to call, but are you ready for it? Two different things. So I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about what it looks like to be ready for the call, right? Because we're going through a funnel. If you're in the 2024 class, you are definitely going through a funnel of evaluation, right? And right here, I want you to pay attention to that middle one that says position rank. Position rank. Now, on the left, it says position rank, but on the right, you guys, it says setting the recruiting board. Now, that means the war room. They're putting up who they're ranking at each position. All of these schools have recruiting needs. They may want a quarterback. They may need a defensive tackle. They may need to rush in a corner, So they're going to put up their needs on a board, and the whole staff is going to know what they need. Okay, even if that's not their particular recruiting expertise, the whole staff is going to know what they need. All right, and then they're going to rank you guys. So when we look at this, you guys, and I put setting the recruiting board, there's a lot of elements that go into setting the recruiting board. But if you are on the recruiting board, what you can expect is some contact. And once again, keep in mind the times we're in, you guys. We're getting closer to the signing period. So right now we're in evaluation stage. Now, the evaluation is a little bit more urgent with some of the top schools as opposed to maybe some of the smaller D1s or the D2s or the D3s and the NAI. But we're in evaluation period. It's game. It's game right now for them to take a look at you and contact you. So if someone's going to offer you some money, you guys, please believe there's going to be a contact evaluation. Now, there's two types of contact, right? We've got in-person contact, like you see here with Coach James Franklin at Penn State. How many of you would love the opportunity to possibly play at Penn State? So there's in-person contact, and there's some things that you guys want to make sure that you got nailed. If you're going on an official visit, maybe an unofficial visit where, they've invited you for a junior day, or they've just invited you out and you're paying for the trip. Maybe the school's right in your backyard. Once you step on campus, you are fully being evaluated. Once you step on campus, you're fully being evaluated to the max. And I want you guys to be prepared for that, to be ready for it. So what does that look like if I'm on an in-person visit, Coach Wood? What do I need to have in place if I'm on an in-person visit? Here's some of the things that you guys want to have slam dunk. You're shooting a free throw, and they call it a free throw because nobody is trying to defend you. Nobody's trying to block your shot. It's free. You've earned it. Now go get your points, right? So these are free throws. These are things that you can control. These are things that are going to be evaluated if you're ever in front of a coach. And these are things that you want to knock out, just like a free throw. Now, some people mess up on their free throws. You remember how Shaquille O'Neal was, Dwight Howard, some of these big men, they mess up on their free throws. I don't want you guys to mess up on your free throws, because if you mess up on your free throws, it's not just 1 point for you. It could be $100,000. It could be $300,000. It could be $50,000 that now goes to this athlete because he hit his free throws on that unofficial visit or that official visit. I've seen guys, you guys, and heard of guys that were right at the finish line. They had the offer, they had the official visit set up. They went on the trip to the school and blew it. They blew the free throw. So much to the point where the school didn't want them anymore. And they said that official visit, that's off the table because you blew the free throw. You blew the in person. Okay. It was so bad. So I want you guys to keep in mind. So these are some things that we want to nail. Once again, every Tuesday, we're going to give you some recruiting love. We got to nail these things. So this is, I put phone contact here, but this right here is actually in-person contact. So at the top, it should say in-person contact. These are the things that you want to nail if you're in person, right? So if we're in person, I'm nailing that I'm on time. I can control being on time. I want to be early if possible. I'm dressed appropriately. What's dressed appropriately, Coach Wood? Dressed appropriately means like I tell my kids this all the time. If I'm a student athlete, you guys, and I want to go get a college football scholarship from somebody like James Franklin at Penn State, somewhere that everybody would love to go, then I should look like a student or I should look like an athlete when I'm in front of this coach. If I want to be a student athlete for this gentleman, I should look like a student or I should look like an athlete whenever he sees me. I shouldn't look like a bum. I shouldn't look like a rapper. I shouldn't look like a thug. I shouldn't look like I didn't wake up and do my hair. I shouldn't look like that. I should look like a student at a university, or I should look like an athlete. And athletes are usually in workout clothes. They're in sweatsuits. You could tell this person looks like an athlete, right? So that's what you want to look at. You want to look presentable. You don't have to come in a three-piece suit. You don't have to come in a three-piece suit, but you want to look like these gentlemen right here. They look totally presentable. Coach Franklin smiling. He's happy. We can move the ball forward. We can move the ball forward. Engage with pleasant energy. Engage with pleasant energy. Everybody can tell when somebody's mad, when they got the stank face. We don't want none of that on the recruiting trip. Respectful to everyone on campus. Respectful to everyone on campus. You guys will all know maybe the head coach. You guys may all know the DB coach or the coordinator. Don't just be respectful to them. Be respectful to the GA. Be respectful to the female that may be touring you around. Be respectful to the janitor that's there, because these coaches will ask everybody about you. So when you're on that trip to that university, you guys keep these things in mind. Once again, if you're just joining us, it says phone contact at the top, but this is in-person contact. These are the things that you should have in place. These are the free throws. These are the things you should knock out if you're on an in-person visit, an unofficial visit. Thoughtful questions. You want to have some questions prepared before you even get there. And an athlete resume on hand. What's an athlete resume? It's basically your stats. You know, you can have a printout or you can even have a little postcard that you can leave behind with them. Okay, that has your grades on there, that has your test score, that has maybe some of your athlete stats. Once again, this is in-person visit. Now let's talk about phone contact. Phone contact. You guys, once again, if you're just joining us or you're catching this late, make sure you rewind it. Make sure you run it back, because we're talking about how you need to conduct yourself once these coaches contact you, which will start to pick up. It's going to start to pick up, especially for you 2024 athletes. So phone contact. What are some of the slam dunks? What are some of the things that you want to have in place when it comes to phone contact? You don't want any background noise. No background noise. Believe me, you guys, one of the most frustrating things is when you can't hear an athlete. When you're trying to talk to them, you're trying to build a relationship, you're trying to get some key information, and you're hearing cars, you're hearing people laughing and joking, you're hearing doors slamming. You can't hear the athlete. But then you get on the next call and it's nice and quiet and you can understand this young man and you can hear him. That's the kid I'm going with, because he's respecting the phone call. You know, and there's nothing wrong if you are in a loud spot. You may have your siblings behind you, but say, Coach, I got my little brother behind me. Do you mind if I go into another room? Okay. Or I got my friends, my teammates are here. I'm going to go jump in the car. I want to talk to you, Coach. So keep these things in mind, you guys. This speaks volumes about you to a coach. To a coach like a Dabo Sweeney at Clemson that can choose anybody. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. When you're on the call with the coaches, you guys, it's either yes, sir, no, sir, or yes, coach, no, coach. That's it. Don't call them by their first name. Please do not call Coach Prime. Yes, Dion. Please do not do that. It's Coach Prime, or it's yes sir, no sir. Okay. Do not mumble. Sometimes guys start talking low. Coaches do not like that. They don't have time for it. And then once again, your athlete resume, you want to just have it handy. Have it handy because you may get caught off guard. You may get the call that you've been waiting for your whole life. You may get Dan Lanning from Oregon to give you a call, and you've been waiting for Oregon your whole life. And now you've forgotten everything. You forgot your GPA. You forgot your name, you forgot your position, you forgot everything. So have that athlete resume right there, baby, so you can just spout it off. There's nothing wrong with knowing that with the answers that are going to be on the test, the questions that are going to be on the test, and having the answers right there for that. So here, once again, you guys, are some key phone contact things that you want to nail, if a college recruiter gives you a call here shortly. Okay. Now, some of you guys may already been fielding calls and you saying, dang, I messed up on that one. That's okay. You didn't know. Now you know. So one thing that we do every Tuesday, you guys, we're going to give you some tips, some strategies, some love, but then also we're going to talk about one of our own, because before you go pro in the Recruiting Live Show, it's not just content. We're practical. We're in the trenches. So we actually help athletes, like I showed you earlier, get to school. So we always want to cover one that we're currently working with, because I believe, for one, it highlights a superstar, but for two, it also shows you guys that maybe it's something that can apply to you, something that you can make practical. So tonight we are covering the great Sadite Green Jr. Sadite Green Jr., amazing name. This is a young superstar. He's a cornerback with Before You Go Pro, okay? And with our program, you guys, we only accept 10 athletes at each position, and we go by class. So currently we're working on the 2024 class, just like the college recruiters, and we're going to send all these young boys off to go play college, all these young superstar young men. So Sadite is one of these young men that we're going to be sending off to college. Now, the interesting thing, you guys may be saying, wow, it looks like he's already at Arizona State. It looks like he's already made it to the show, right? Well, he was. He was at Arizona State, you guys. He is no longer. And that's the beautiful thing about Before You Go Pro and about the Recruiting Live Show, is we're going to bring you guys, we have a diversity of athletes that we work with that have been in different situations. And Before You Go Pro has been around for 16 years. So we've seen pretty much everything when it comes to recruiting. So in his particular case, he was at Arizona State University, you guys. And then now he is at Chaffey Junior College in Southern California. So you guys see the school that he's at on the right. And the reason why he left Arizona State, nothing to his own doing, but this is a business. This is a business, you guys, and it's not always peaches and cream. It's not always red carpet. I told you about the journey, right? You guys saw Elijah Cook's journey. Well, we're building a journey with Sadite. Each of you guys are individual contractor. Each of you guys will have your own journey. I saw the great Ernest Munoz in the comments section. He's got his young son, Marco, who's in the 8th grade. Marco's going to have a journey that's different than his older son. Okay, so with Sadite, you guys, his coach left. The head coach, his position coach, left Arizona State. That will put your job in jeopardy. You know, once again, this is business. And also a special thing about Sadite was that he was a preferred walk-on. He was a PWO, meaning, for those that don't know, he actually was paying to go to school. He was there earning his scholarship. So there's athletes that go in as freshmen and they already have a scholarship, or a transfer portal kid that already has a scholarship. And then there's ones that go in and earn it. They've got a roster spot. They got to go earn the money. So he was at Arizona State, you guys, and he had to go earn the money, right? And he had a great freshman year, but he hadn't hit the field yet. He hadn't hit the field yet. So when the new coaches came, that meant things were in jeopardy. So he came back home to Los Angeles, where he's originally from, got in contact with our program through a friend. We gave him an evaluation. If you guys have not had an evaluation, you got to make sure somebody's looking at your film to really see what schools you need to target, what schools you should go after. So we gave Sadite an FBS, FCS evaluation. Now, that evaluation wasn't difficult because he was already at where? He was at A State. He was in the Pac-12. Now, we reviewed the film to make sure that we were seeing everything we needed to see. We reviewed his practice film at Arizona State. We also reviewed his high school film, and we gave him an FBS, FCS grade, right? So he's got an FBS, FCS grade, but we didn't get to him, you guys, until right before the football season this year, literally about 3 or 4 weeks before the football season. So the best thing we could do, he was coming out of the transfer portal. The best thing we could do was get him to a junior college. And some of our athletes go to junior college. So once again, he's at Chaffee Junior College. But why did we put him at Chaffee Junior College? Because every athlete is different. And we figured we had a Division I level athlete with Sadite, and all we needed to do, we figured that as long as he could get some junior college film, he could take care of the rest based off of what our evaluation, you right. So we wanted to get him to a junior college. A junior college is a glorified stepping stone. We needed to get him to a junior college where somebody wasn't going to play with him and where they were going to put him on the field right away, and they wanted to win. And that junior college, you guys, was Chaffee JC. And that's Coach Darren Shiverini right there, who is a dear friend of the Before You Go Pro program and what we do here. But he's also a dear friend of mine personally. I played in college at the University of Colorado with Darren Shiverini, and then I also played professionally in the Arena Football League with Darren. So we're very close. And as you guys can see here, he's coached at big-time Power 5 programs. He's coached in the Pac-12 where Sadite just left. So he's been an offensive coordinator at Colorado, our alma mater. He's been at Texas Tech. He's been at UCLA. So he has all the connections. He has all the leverage in the world with his head coach and with our program to get back to that next level. But he's on the field now, and if he balls out and they're undefeated right now, he can get back to that next level with the scholarship. With the scholarship. Now, there's some key things. And once again, everybody's journey is different. He was already at a Division I school, came back, then we'll send him back. Everybody's situation is different. So I want you guys to get a feel for Sadite's talent. So here's his film. Check this out. Oh, sorry about that. I was muted on that, and I apologize, you guys. But with Sadite, you guys, we just knew we needed to get him to the right school. And I apologize. Thank you, Coach Foss, for telling me that. We knew we needed to get him to the right school. He was already at the Division I level. And then once we got him to the right school with the right coach, he's on the field, everything will take care of itself. Okay. So you guys are all in different positions. And also, what I was talking about was the regional recruiting. If you're at the high school level, it's going to be regional recruiting. Unless you're a 4 or 5 star athlete, it's going to be regional. Okay. But that's okay, because you know you can move faster if you know who's most likely to give you the scholarship offer. With junior college kids, prep school kids, transfer portal kids, it's not regional. It's across the country. So when Sadite was coming out of LA and he went to Arizona State, that made sense. But now with him playing junior college ball, he's open across the country, you guys. Here are some of the pluses and minuses to him playing junior college ball. One is it opens up his recruiting options. It opens up his territory once again. Once again, he was a PWO at Arizona State, which is a preferred walk-on. Now he's balling out at Chaffey. He's open to scholarship potential. So he can go to New Mexico. He can go to Syracuse. He can go on scholarship now, you guys. And then also on the minus side, he does lose 1 year of eligibility. And then I put ego there. This isn't Sadite's case, but a lot of athletes won't make the right move and do the move that he did. It was the right move. It's not the right move for everybody, but it was the right move for him. A lot of athletes won't make that move because of their ego. They won't go from Arizona State to Chaffey. For him, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off in dollars. So I want you guys to keep this in mind. All individual contractors, this is the tactic that we're using for Sadite. And I see Tiffany, hopefully I'm not still muted. I was muted earlier, but hopefully I'm unmuted now, and I apologize for you guys with that. But that is where we're at with him. So junior college, not for everybody. It was for him, but you guys, now he is open to new options, and he's open to the money. He's open to the money that we're looking for, okay? So when we go back to our recruiting, I want to show you guys this. Our recruiting database, we have 10 athletes at each position across the country. There are high school and junior college kids in the database. That goes to our recruiting contacts. And then it has their highlights, their grades, contact information, so people can check you out. So this is a highly vetted database, and we only want the best of the best. We only want the cream of the crop. I see the great Sadite, speaking of the superstar right here. It's such a blessing. Thank you. Thank you, superstar. And looking forward. The good thing, you guys, about our program is that we're here for the journey. This is about the journey. What good is getting you to a college football opportunity? What good is getting you on the campus at Arizona State and you're not ready to scrape the plate? This young man came back. He's about to propel forward, but he's going to be ready to scrape the plate, you guys. But once again, I want tonight to illustrate to you guys how every situation is different. Every situation is different. Some of you guys are trying to DM coaches that most likely aren't going to recruit you, and you don't have the time to waste. Okay, so you're that high school kid. You're not a 4 or 5 star kid. You don't have anything in your back pocket. First things first is what, Coach Wood? Is get the film evaluation. We'll give you a free film evaluation. Get the film evaluation. Okay, so there you guys go. Now, if you do feel like you need some help, here is the link to our program. Okay, you guys, we have group programs. We have one-on-one. That is the link. You can click on it. You can copy and paste it if you're watching the recording, but that's the link if you want to check out how we serve. Our team serves these young athletes. Once again, we only accept 10 at each position per year, you guys. Okay, so once again, first get your film evaluation. And then for our athletes, we come up with a college prospects list, a list of schools we're going to target specifically for that kid. Now, in Sadite's case, he needs to go to junior college. And we know that between Coach Shiverini and before you go pro, he's going to have a ton of options. Okay. So does anybody have any questions, any comments, concerns? Once again, we're in a a full-on recruiting evaluation period, you guys. So that means you guys are green light. If you're in the 2024 class, you guys are super green light. We can hang up tonight with this live recruiting show, and you could have San Diego State reach out to you. And once again, are you ready for the call? You've been talking about you want somebody to give you a call. You could have a D2, D3 school reach out to you, and your phone hasn't been ringing. All of a sudden, tonight it's ringing. Are you ready for the call? Do you have your stats right there by you? You know, your GPA, your test scores, you know, your accolades. Do you have all that right by you? Here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with, you guys. This is glorified dating. The recruiting process is glorified dating. Okay? Nobody wants to date somebody that nobody else wants. So even if you're only got a little bit of interest, you got a few letters in the mail, find out a way to embellish a little bit. And you need some help, talk to us. We're going to be talking about things like this as we move forward. So you can say, yeah, maybe you don't have any offers, but Montana State called you a month ago. You ain't talked to them since, but they called you a month ago. Now, the rival, Montana's calling. You better mention Montana State. Better mention Montana State, okay? So I want you guys to keep this in mind. Once again, Recruiting Live Show every Tuesday, bringing you specific tactics, situations, live situations that you guys can hear about, learn about, and grow from, okay? Does anybody have any comments, any questions, any concerns pertaining to college football recruiting before we get out of here? Once again, I'm Coach Terrence Wood. We've got a full team of people. We've been doing this for years. It's a labor of love for us. It's really, truly a passion. But there's that other side too. There's the being ready side that you guys got to get ready for. So does anybody have any questions, any comments, concerns? Please share the content. There are thousands of athletes, you guys, across the country that do want an opportunity to go to the next level, but they're not being supported, or they just don't know the steps. So please feel free to share the content information. Subscribe. That does us a good justice as far as YouTube pumping us up to other football players, other parents, other coaches that desperately need this information. There's too many athletes, you guys, that will hang up their cleats. You know, some of these kids only got 3 or 4 games left, man. They're not going to the playoffs. Coach Foss, I know, is on this show. He coaches at a school where they're not going to the playoffs, and a lot of the kids are not supported in the manner that they should be. That's part of the reason Coach Foss is a part of this, so that he can find other ways to support kids that aren't supported maybe at their school like they should be. So pass this information along. Please share it on your social media. Please like. The thumbs up is right there. Please hit the like button, and please subscribe so that you guys can be aware whenever we do the recruiting live show, or we do our locker room show on Thursdays, where we bring in industry guests that want to give back to you guys. All right. So once again, unless we have anybody with any questions, comments, concerns for tonight, this is the Recruiting Live Show. I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Come back every single Tuesday so that you guys can get the game, you can get the sauce, so you guys can get to that scholarship offer. And then please take your notes and make sure you revisit the content. All right. So we'll be back next Tuesday. Join us on Thursday for the locker room show. We're going to have another great guest for you. And then we'll definitely see you guys at the top. You guys have a good one. Oh, I see. Will the show be a replay for Sadat? Yes, the show is on replay. So you can definitely hit the same link that you use to get in here, and we'll leave it live, and we'll also put it in your membership portal, buddy. So sorry for the little delay, you guys, where I was on mute. Thank you, Coach Foss, Tiffany, for letting me know. But yes, you can replay the content from this show, and then look at the other episodes too, because you may pick up something where you're like, man, I messed up on that. Or, man, if this coach calls me or I go on that trip, I'm going to utilize that tip. All right? So love you guys. We'll see you at the top. Stay healthy. Keep kicking butt. Keep making plays. Have a good one.